Hey guys, Secure here. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day, week, month, year so far. And school started. School started this week and next week too, I believe, depending on your location. So have fun with that. Anyway, we're going to be doing a guide today about the Monster Arena in Eden Eternal. If you don't know what Eden Eternal is, it's a little MMORPG by Area Games. It's pretty popular, I believe. I don't know how many player base it has exactly, but it's pretty popular. I played in closed beta and now I'm back in the full game. Anyway, the Monster Arena, it comes up a couple times a day. The hours are changing because of patches and stuff. I had the whole schedule down, but then boom, it changes. Sometimes it's up for 30 minutes, sometimes it's up for an hour, 2 hours. I don't know what they're doing, but it keeps changing. Anyway, if you guys can look back the childish anime pixie kind of graphics and characters, then I highly recommend this game. I could even say it rivals WoW because it has BGs, it has raids, it has the arena, and the class system right now is extremely unique to MMORPGs. This game's class system, it allows you to change your class at any moment. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to talk to anyone, do any quests, nothing. You just press 2 buttons, boom, you can change from a warrior to a mage. And I think that's pretty big deal right now, especially for MMORPGs, because unlike Eden and WoW, you have to level up, start all over from level 1, level up that different class. If you want to make a next class, you got to start level 1 again, redo everything all over. So I think this class system is very unique, and that's why it rivals WoW along with all the other content it offers. Patches come out very recently, and new patches all the time, new content, new items all the time. It's always changing, and yeah. Anyway, I'll be going over the weapons and debuffs first because they're going to be very important. The first weapons you can get, there is a barrel in the area you spawn once you get into the monster arena. If you destroy that barrel, you'll get either one of 2 weapons. The staff, Penethos. If you have a magic monster, you're going to be using this staff. If you have a melee character, though, you're going to be using the weapon Ragnarok. So make sure you destroy the barrels and get both weapons just in case, depending on which monster you turn into the next round, next match, and equip them appropriately. Next, we're going to be going over 2 very important debuffs. Now, the debuffs in this game are probably the most important thing. Other things you can get away with, like if you have a crappy monster, for example, you can still have a chance to winning, unless you have He-Rack. If you have He-Rack, just stop. Don't even try. But these debuffs can literally make or break the game. You can either win or lose because of these debuffs. The first debuff I'm going over is Fatal Wound. It's on several different monsters. I don't think the name ever changes, but for sure the icon never changes. So if you see that heart with the sword through it, worry about it. What it does is if the opponent uses it on you, when you attack, you will receive 50k damage only when you attack them. So if you have that debuff, do not attack, or you're going to lose 50k health. It only lasts 5 seconds, so just wait 5 seconds till the next attack, and then you can attack after that. And these can actually be applied, let's say if 2 opponents have the same ability and they both put it on you, you're going to lose 100k health. So you definitely don't want to attack when you have that debuff against you. Now the second ability is called Rancid Plague, and I believe Ginny has this, and Bayard is the crab. His is similar to this. It's called Roar, but it has the same effect. So what this does is you're putting the debuff on the opponent, and when they attack you, you're going to receive 30k health. Or if they attack any of your allies, they're going to get healed for 30k health. So I recommend if you have a character, a monster that has this ability, use it on your opponent and stand still. Let them attack you because you're going to get healed 30k health. If you're already full health, there's no point in letting them hit you, but if you're low or you're lower than max health, let them hit you when they have this debuff. It only lasts 5 seconds though, so when it runs off, don't let them hit you anymore. But these 2 debuffs are very important, and they can either make or break your game. You can either win or lose if you're not paying attention to this debuff. So I recommend you always look at your buffs and pay attention to that debuff, because you can either win or lose thanks to that. We're going to go ahead and get started on all the monsters now. There's about 20 to 24, I'm not sure about the exact number. But if it's a magic, if I say magic or ranged, you're going to be using the staff, Penethos. And if it's a melee character, obviously you're going to be using Ragnarok. So first off, we have Acillo, Aculo, Acillo, whatever we want to call him. And he is a support character. I've given him 3 stars. And his first ability, Devouring Dark, is your main attack. It's a magic attack, so obviously you're going to be using the staff. Nightmare Fang is your second ability. It is an AoE damage and it removes enemy buffs. So that means if you're facing someone like Quaid or Juan who has an attack buff, you'll want to use that to remove their damage bonus. Third ability, Bloody Illusion, is an AoE dot and sleep for 10 seconds. Special note about Aculo is attack from afar because you're ranged, and depending on the enemy monsters, if they have attack bonus buffs or buffs that will hurt your team, then you're going to want to remove them if necessary. Next up we have Alice, who I call the Game Breaker / Game Over. She is the best monster you can possibly have in the monster arena, so she has 3 stars. I would give her 5 stars, but that's just not fair. Everyone in Eden Eternal is in love with her. There are fan pages about Alice everywhere, and there's a bunch of stuff about Alice. Anyway, her first ability, Devouring Dark, is a magic attack. Her second ability, Dark Knight, is an AoE damage plus the 50k debuff. Your third ability, Living Nightmare, is an AoE damage plus sleep. Now, Alice has many useful spells, easily making her the best monster to have. Her first main attack already does good damage. Her second ability is the 50k debuff. Her next ability puts your enemies to sleep. What's more to say about Alice except she is the best in the game. If you have an Alice on your team, you have a high possibility of winning. The only way you won't win is if you're retarded. Anyway, Alice should always be your #1 priority. If you see your opponents have an Alice, go straight for her no matter what. It doesn't matter what else is on their team. Alice is #1 priority always. Next up on our Monster Arena adventure, we have Anderli, a melee / support character given the 2-star rating. His first ability, Slam, is a physical attack and it applies a debuff to your opponent, minusing their defense by 3.5k. His second ability, Fatal Wound, is an AoE damage and applies the 50k debuff. The third ability he has is Cell Activation, which is a heal and buff, and the buff increases your attack speed by 200%. He's not particularly useful, but thanks to his 50k debuff and a heal, he can be a decent character to have. Special note, keep using your heal whenever you can, and also your 50k debuff, and Anderli will help you lead to victory. Next up we have Bayard, aka Krabby Puss. He is also a melee / support character given the 2-star rating. His first ability is Collapsing Blow, which is a physical attack and a debuff minuses the opponent's block and parry by 118, which is useless by the way. Second ability, Berserk Slash, is an AoE damage plus debuff. Now this debuff minuses your opponent's armor by 15%, and it also stacks. I think it stacks up to 3, but I'm not sure on the exact number. I've never tested it, but it is decent if you get it stacked up. Third ability, Roar, is the AoE damage and a debuff, and also removes all enemy buffs, and the debuff is the 30k debuff. I mentioned this in the beginning, the debuff part. 30k debuff. If you apply this on your opponent, just let them smack away at you because you will get healed and they will do absolutely nothing to you. So, overall, he's a support character. He lowers the enemy's defense and armor, and Roar debuff also heals you and your allies when attacked. Next up we have Danna, which is the second best monster you can have in the monster arena. I also call her the main attacker. She is given a 3-star rating obviously. Your first ability, Art of Darkness, is a magic attack with an extremely quick cooldown. The cooldown is only 1 second, so that means you can get an attack off every second. Your second ability, Demon Breath, is an AoE damage plus debuff, and the debuff has many little effects inside of it. First off, it has a skill block, and it also has a stun for 5 seconds. Along with that, the next attack upon the opponent will deal 4 times damage. Your third ability, Bloody Illusion, is an AoE damage plus sleep for 10 seconds. Special note about this character, she is a devastating opponent. Danna is not only fast and ranged, but also has a sleep, 5-second stun, and 4 times damage. Now, I have a typo in there. It says Demon Breath, but if Danna is not attacked when she uses Demon Breath, the opponent are stunned for 5 seconds completely. Now that means if you only stun one opponent and the other opponent does manage to attack Danna, the stun will be cancelled. Other than that, the opponent will be stunned for the entire 5-second duration.